Welcome to Vikings basketball with head coach Jase Coburn. The Portland State Vikings are home this week, a big week of Big Sky Conference basketball. Portland State hosting Idaho on Thursday night at 6 p.m. That's right, 6 p.m. Make sure you're here early. That game will be nationally televised on ESPN U, so it should be a big night, a big crowd as the Vikings take on the Vandals. And then Saturday, Portland State will host Eastern Washington, a 2 p.m. game, normal Saturday game time start. A couple of important Big Sky games as the Vikings are still in first place. They've been in first place every day of the Big Sky season, and they want to keep it that way. A few more wins, and then down the road, we'll start using the C word, the clinch word, but we're not going to talk about that right now, Coach. Let's talk about this week and what you have ahead of you. Your team, you and your team have to be excited about Thursday night nationally broadcast game from right here in Viking Pavilion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, we're excited to be back home. We had 3 games on the road, and I know we've been really good on the road this year, and but we're ultimately really excited to be back home in front of our fans, and to be able to have the ESPN U game is awesome. We're really proud of the fact of where the program has got to. And we progressively have gotten better over the years. And so we're really excited that ESPNU will be here for this game because it's going to be a big game.
It has been, or it will be 17 days between home games. Know how much you love it. Playing here at home, the Vikings 5-1 in Big Sky home games, 6-1 in Big Sky road games. You take on Idaho. Let's talk about them real quickly. A very good offensive team, a good shooting team, but a team you beat over there in Moscow. What are your concerns as you go into that game this Thursday?
Yeah, I think the first thing that jumps off the page about them is offensive talent. They've got a lot of guys who can score. There's never going to be anybody out there who's not a weapon offensively. They've got a lot of talent, and Coach Pribble does a really good job of putting those guys in the right spots and right positions to succeed. So they're a very talented team. They're as talented as anybody in the league. So we know it'll be a good game, and we know we got to bring it that night for sure.
All right, and now you've been practicing literally since September. Your players know your plan. They know what you expect on the court. What are you working on? Obviously, you're working on your game planning against specific opponents, but what are you working on this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to find any edge you can to get better in any or aspect of the game. Whether it's offense, defense, rebounding, transition, whatever it might be, to try and make your weaknesses just a little bit better. Every single day you practice to make sure that your strengths are getting better, to understand what people are trying to do to you, especially when you're on top. Like a lot of teams are going to try and do different game plans. And so just to be ready and prepared for anything and everything. And our team has done a really good job of that. This is probably the fastest season I've ever been a part of. Like the season to me just feels like an absolute blur. I mean, I know for me, I've been having a lot of fun this year. And so this thing has went by really quick. If you were to tell me that this was like December, I would probably believe you. But that's, I enjoy being around our players every single day. And, to answer your question about what do we work on, like our players have been very receptive to continuing to get better. They're a very coachable team. So this year's been a lot of fun for sure.
All right, and you've had some big performances. We know that. Last time we spoke, I think we only had 2 of these guys. But since then, we now have 4 different players in the Viking roster that have been Big Sky Player of the Week. That speaks to the talent you have on the team. That speaks to how the guys are stepping up and performing well. Last week, you had a couple games where you played 12 guys, 13 guys. I know you want to really expand that rotation, get more productivity from everybody. What do you do in those regards to get more contributions from players off the bench?
Yeah, I've been really this year I've been really just kind of going with my gut. And obviously things in practice change how I feel every single time when we go out there and we look at matchups and different things, and whether we might need a little more offense on the floor, a little more defense on the floor, a little more rebounding. And credit to our players. Because a lot of those guys have had inconsistent minutes this year, but they've stepped up every single time their name has been called. And so I couldn't be more proud of those guys too. I know we've had 4 guys get Player of the Week, but I'm also really proud of our other guys too, because every single game when I've called their name, they've been ready to roll. And so to me, that speaks a lot to who they are as people and our culture here at Portland State.
All right, Saturday's game is against Eastern Washington. The Vikings won up in Cheney earlier this year. So we do have a victory over the Eagles, but it seems like every team that we're picking up here the last couple of weeks is red hot. You played a Northern Colorado team that had won 5 in a row. Eastern Washington, since we last saw them, red hot. Suddenly they're in 4th place. A little bit more of a guard-oriented approach, but also a good offensive team. What do you see from that group, and how have they gotten better?
Yeah, no, very talented also. It's kind of crazy. Like when we played a lot of these teams the first time, I walked out of their arena or gym or whatever and being like, man, they're really good. And I think that's kind of what's been going on in the league this year is that like everybody's beating up on everybody in the league. And so there's a lot of really good talented teams, and Eastern Washington obviously being one of them. I mean, they got the big guys inside who are really talented, and Moses as a guard is really good, and Powell's been really good against us in the past. So, we know that they're a really talented team and they're going to play hard, and they're as hot as anybody right now. So it'll be a really good game for sure.
All right, let's take a look at the facts. The Vikings, first place, 11-2. There's 5 games remaining. You got a 2-game lead over Montana State, 3-game lead over Montana. Those are your closest pursuers. Everybody knows what the end game is. Everybody knows what you're shooting for without actually saying it. How do you compartmentalize one day to the next, one game to the next for your guys so that they're focused on that night?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about just being present in the moment. We know we need to have a good practice today, right? Like that's the most important thing. That's all I've been thinking about since I woke up this morning is, having a great practice today so we can get better. Not focusing so much on the outcomes, the standings, the records, and all that stuff. Like that's all fine and cool, but for us to be able to continue to be focused, we just need to focus on what we got to do today. And what we got to do today is have a great practice and get ready for Idaho. So, yeah, I mean that's just kind of how we roll, and it's been working so far to this point. So mentally, we're not going to change that at all.
So what you're saying is when we come to the arena Thursday night, again, 6 p.m. tip-off, when we come Thursday night, you're going to be in the black suit, the white shirt, the energy drink. Nothing's changing.
No, I mean, and I'm a very superstitious person, but I've kind of changed that this year. I've kind of gone away from a lot of my superstitions because I probably was one of the most superstitious people there ever was. And I went away from a lot of that this year because I got confidence and trust in our team. And I started thinking about it, and we can't be afraid to be good. We can't be afraid to be the best team in the Big Sky. So I went away from a lot of those. Now there's some things that I have that are routine, like drinking my energy drinks and things like that, which is to maintain. It's not to get me going. It's just to maintain. Like I'm not,
I'm worried your energy level is going to drop a little.
No. I am who I am. I try and be authentically me. I know that, I coach different and with a lot of spirit and passion and things like that. But yeah, the energy drink thing is more like water to me. I mean, it's just to keep me, maintained. It doesn't give me an extra spike. It just makes sure that I am who I am.
All right. Well, the Vikings are going to be who they are in this building, and that is almost unbeatable. They have a couple of very important Big Sky home games this week. Once again, Thursday night, 6 p.m., Idaho, nationally televised game on ESPN U. Arrive early. Take my advice. There's going to be a huge crowd. In fact, we're hoping maybe an attendance record. We'll see. There's going to be a huge crowd, so arrive early so you can get in for tip-off. And then Saturday, 2 p.m. against Eastern Washington. Vikings basketball still in first place in the Big Sky. For all your information on Vikings basketball, go to govikes.com.